All right, guys. Let me do a little sound check, please. 1, 2, sound check. Hello, CC. How are you doing? It's been a rough couple of weeks for everybody, hasn't it? Yeah, I'm finally getting a little bit better. I've still got a little bit of nauseousness, just from it all started. Hey, Friesen, welcome in, man. Thanks. Yeah, it just like, late Sunday night when I went to bed, all day Sunday actually, I went golfing. I felt something wrong, but couldn't pinpoint it. And then I woke up Monday, and my head was killing me, chest pains, etc., etc. Blood pressure was not good, so new meds, and it was a rough week. But anyway, I'm back, and the meds are kicking in, so let's go ahead and get after it. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, no, not Corona, but what's funny is that, and I'll try to keep this brief, but whenever I went into the doctor, they had a little 3-question, thing for me to fill out. And one of them was like, are you having shortness of breath? The other one has, if you had any contact with anybody from overseas, etc. So I did have shortness of breath, and so they immediately gave me a flu test and had me put on a mask just to protect everybody. And then, of course, the test came back negative. But just weird stuff, but good to see that they're at least taking precautions on people. So can't fault them for that. So anyway, yeah, and I know it looks like scary times for everybody. Let's just delve into it real quick, right? And so this is the Bitcoin daily chart, and hey, I was wrong, right? I'm not afraid to admit it. I really thought once we got up in here, I really thought we would consolidate and break past this, or at least get up here and maybe test the upper portion of it. But I was expecting a smaller retrace and then a break through it, but coronavirus had other ideas, and so that's what you get. So that's why you have stop losses. That's why you just have to have them, right? It protects you. And so basically this old support up here, which failed, is now going to be resistance on the way back up. There's going to be other resistance points as well. Let's just zoom in. A nasty candle, right? But let's go back and look and see, where did Bitcoin bounce? Why did it bounce? Okay, well, we've got this, and if I scroll out a little bit more, I had this little trend, and I've had it there forever. Now, in my wildest dreams, did I think it would hit that this quickly? No. But if you go back and look at any of my charts, right, over the long term, I had this trend line right here. And Bitcoin went right down to it, actually hit Fibonacci cluster down here. And that's why I placed one of my orders last night. That's why I placed it down there, because that was a more important area of support. So as long as that area holds, then Bitcoin's fine, right? But it's got plenty of work to do. Okay, nice bounce last night. I'm sure a lot of people panicked and got out of their positions. I even put in a couple of ridiculous bids just in case, but anyway, it is what it is. And so here we are. Price was way outside Bollinger Bands. It was almost a given that this thing had to just, come back inside. What we're going to find out, though, is when we, if Bitcoin wants to go a little bit higher here, we already know the drill, right? The 10 EMA is going to be resistance. That 10 EMA, by the time tomorrow's candle close, it's probably going to be somewhere down in here around 6,600 maybe. 6,700. So, just be careful on the long side. Let's, we need to see confirmation of some things before we get all wild about Bitcoin. I mean, I'm still long. I'm still a believer. But let's just let things get into it. You can't. There's no reason you can't trade it, right? And that's what we're here for. But if you follow the trading plan, then you could be really good, right? If you had got in last night somewhere and you followed the trading plan, you should be sitting pretty with some free Bitcoin right now. And then who cares if it goes to zero, right? You made money, your original capital's out, and hey, if it goes to zero, whatever. If it goes to 15,000, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to buy it back up on the way up. But we've got to see, this is a lot of technical damage right here. That's just technical damage. I mean, it almost reminds me, I'm not going to say it reminds me of, what was the one? Oh gosh, let me look at it. Matic. It doesn't remind me of Matic because this thing never went like straight up and then straight down. But when you get a pullback like this, it just takes time to chew through it. That's just a bearish pattern right there. And it takes a while to get through it. So as much as I would like to say Bitcoin's going to 10,000 tomorrow, no, not happening. Not in my opinion. Now, I hope I'm wrong. But there's just too many other, circumstances out in the market right now. I mean, until we see somebody come out with something that says, hey, we've got a cure for coronavirus, or some signs that things are getting back to normal, then, it's just going to be real careful. Now, with that said, I will say this, is that I've talked about message of the markets, right? And that somebody always seems to know something ahead of time. So that's why you want to keep an eye on this, because, they're, back in here, I mean, maybe that was when I talked about it back here, and this is what kind of scared me, but I thought it would pass. But there was something going on back here. I mean, look at this, guys. I think I talked about it in past videos. Bearish engulfing, bounce, bearish engulfing, bounce, bearish engulfing. And then you had 3 black crows right here. Never even thought about retracing. Well, I don't think it got 50%, but you can see, I mean, once it broke past that support and couldn't get above it, boom, down she goes. So those are just things we have to watch. It's going to take a while to chew through this big candle right here, and it's just going to be, resistance, but that doesn't mean you can't trade it. Okay? You can't be thinking that, hey, tomorrow Bitcoin could be, and it could, if it breaks the support down here, breaks the trend line again, then yeah, Bitcoin could drop all the way to 2,000. There's this, support right over here. 3,000. That's going to be the next area to watch if this area breaks at 3,900. And that's why I said I put a bid in at 3,100. I had 3,900, or I can't remember what it was, and 3,100. And so exchanges are different, and I never got my fill on the one, and I was just pissed, and I had to chase it up a little bit because I was like, oh, here we go again. They're going to, different exchange, different price. And that's what happens. So, anyway. Says who? Who's going to have a vaccine by spring or summer? Because I'm hearing it's a year away. And I could be totally wrong. But anyway, let's go see why Bitcoin. Hey, Fabio, good to see you, buddy. All right, so since we're on our way back, or trying to go up, let's start looking at our resistance points, okay? There's one. Okay. Right up here around 6,500. Oh, you do? Really? Okay. That's good information to know. Very good information to know. I hope all those people that bought up all the toilet paper at Walmart choke on it if this turns around. I really do, because I mean, I've got some toilet paper, but I was like, I go into Walmart tonight and I was like, it was just ridiculous. I was like, come on, people, really? But I get it. People are panicking and they're just going off what they're hearing on the news. So, all right. So anyway, let's do this, and let's just say that's a low for Bitcoin, right? We're just going to treat it that way. So we have to go all the way up here to the top, and we're going to draw our Fibonacci down here to the bottom. And this is going to be one extension, right? I'm going to do a couple, and we'll see if things line up. I haven't done this tonight, so you're going to watch it live. Okay, so it passed the 23. Here's your 38.2. 50, 61, 78. Let's take out the 1618. And just for giggles and grins, we'll put the 1272 on there. Okay, so there's one. Okay, so it's past the 23.6 retracement. So now I'm going to draw another one from this little swing high to the low, which was major resistance. Let's see if I can get right on it there. There we go. Okay, and I find this interesting, but we'll see what happens. But let's take out. It's testing the 38.2. Okay, so we'll leave that on there. Okay, so we've done two different retracements on Fibonacci, right? And so what we're looking for is clusters, right? Areas where Fibonacci numbers line up with each other. Well, there's three different ones, but the more important one is right here at this, let's call it 5,900 to 6,000. That's the 38.2 retracement. So we want to see Bitcoin get past that. You're going to have some resistance right up here at this cluster, which, I mean, you can't make that stuff up, guys. That's a 38.2 and a 50% retracement. Sorry about that. I need to do an update soon. But anyway, you know, we know next resistance right here, 6,400 to 6,500. And then if it breaks that, 7,160. After that, if it breaks it, up here where this big red candle is, and it failed up here, and I'll just draw a line on it. Let's just see how things play out, right? And it's a zone, right? But right there, there's another fib cluster. So we've got our resistance zones lined out, okay? Those are lined out. Now what we're watching for is seeing if this lower Bollinger Band, which it's doing right now, we came way out of it, we came up, we bounced, we hit the upper part, or I'm sorry, the upper part of the lower Bollinger Band, and we're, look at this, just hanging on to that, okay? So if you're wanting to get into Bitcoin, I don't think you have to just rush right into it just yet. Let's see if it can pull back a little bit more and retest this area, and if that holds, then you got something. But for now, there's still a lot of indecision. There's still, you know, that's not the most bullish I mean, that's just a recovery candle. That's a big bearish move right there. So just be careful. Be careful. We know where resistance zones are. Now let's go and look at, and let's just go over to a 4-hour chart. And this, you know, it looks, if you look at it, really, it looks kind of like a bear flag, okay? Or bear pennant, however you want to draw it. That's not real bullish, and it's staying within this red candle right here. So the key, you know, let's just call it the red candle right at the top of the red candle, above 60, and just to be on the conservative side, above 6,100. and then maybe you get that move up here to 65, and then we'll see what happens there. But I think this thing wants to try to, and 10 EMA is right there, right? That's obvious resistance on the 4-hour chart. So let's see how things play out here, and let's just go to retracements, and let's just say if that was a swing high. Okay, then we're going to go over here. And it did break the 38.2, and it basically was it's right now a 50% retracement. Right? So we're going to be watching, this is just chop zone right here, right? Let's just call it 4,900 to 5,000. Hold that area, which it's done a couple of times right here. But I want to get past the 10 EMA. That's going to be key. So, any questions about that, guys, so far? Now's not the time to be a hero, but good buying opportunities if you get a retest and it holds. But make sure to use your proper disciplines with stop losses. Okay, because we know, I'm sure that move right there just panicked the hell out of everybody. That was, let's call it 4,000 points. 4,000 points, and that was basically in one day. So moves like this can happen. You just got to be careful. Okay? Any questions? All right, so I'm going to go to, just real quick, let me pull over Bitcoin on the futures chart. And I'll change my pointer focus so you guys can see it. All right. And so this area right here was support for quite a while, right? Support here, support there, broke through support. There's your 6,400 area that's going to be resistance on the way back up. So we've got to watch that area. A lot of technical damage that has to be repaired. It did hit this, and I could draw a few more fib retracements, but it hit the 423.6 and bounced off that. So let me there we go, so you can see it. Now, one thing I'm going to be watching really closely is the slow stochastic down here. Okay, we hit, obviously right here, oversold. And now we're getting lower price. And can it make a higher indicator? That's going to be the question. We'll watch that. If it is, and on a retest price holds, then we may have a more sustainable bottom to trade off of. We're wanting to try to build a base, right? That's what we're after. And so if you're expecting just some sort of V here, I don't think that's plausible. This is your, back here, right? See that panic move right there? And then you get a little bounce, pulls back. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So I'm just trying to be realistic about this. Let's let it try to build a base. It's going to chop around a little bit. But build a base. We still don't have the halvening for another couple of months, 2 to 3 months or more. Well, 2 months? Is it May or June? I can't remember. But anyway, just let the market come to you. The CME is going to be closed, but the New York Stock Exchange is not. So, I don't know that I would, markets have a tendency to, I don't know, in these times, it's May, okay, yeah. So, Anyway, markets, they're just, right now, there's a lot of volatility. Tons of volatility. So just be careful out there and let things kind of settle in. And then when we start seeing some, true bottoms start to form, that's when you can start loading up. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Let's go over to, S&P 500. And this is just rather interesting, really, because when you look at this move that was made back here, I mean, that was pure panic back then, but the VIX never responded too much, right? That was just, but you look at this, and now the VIX, and I'm going to pull up a chart of the VIX, okay? This usually tells me pretty darn close to when tops or bottoms are getting close at hand, all right? That's a daily chart of the VIX. And you can see when markets are nice and calm, you may get blips and stuff here and there, but when you see something like this, that is just pure panic. I mean, that is people just freaking the hell out, all right? And let's go over to a weekly chart. Actually, I'll pull up a monthly. Here's your monthly chart. And this goes all the way back to the dot-com days, right? Here's your dot-com crash. And VIX back then hit 50. People thought it was the end of the world, right? But then the VIX topped. Market dropped for, maybe a year and a half or maybe a year. But then recovered. VIX comes down. Here's your financial crisis at 89.53. So, is it possible VIX could get up to this area? Absolutely, it's possible. So, we're not out of the woods just yet. But, let's see how it plays out. Just be careful out there. It's not going to go away anytime soon. But when we start to get a more important top in the VIX, then you can start thinking about doing some buying and stuff for your 401ks. We're not quite there yet. So anyway, that's the VIX. Any questions, guys? Go back to Bitcoin. I mean, I think it's really going to be some good trading coming up here, but you got to be careful. All right, you can make a lot of money in bear markets. A lot of money in bear markets, but you have to be disciplined and just know that you have to get in quick and get out quick. You can't stick around, right? You have to wait until, like I talked about, the VIX settles down, things of that nature. But when the VIX is this high, you cannot take longs. All right. Questions? Chart requests? Let's go take a look at ETH. Last we checked. Oh, there we go. It looked like it actually did dip barely below 100 and then, 90, and has bounced smartly off of that. So, hey, Todd. Mona coin? What is that? Symbol? I need a symbol, please. So, nice bounce by ETH, but, we got to be careful, right? Sometimes I don't trust this pattern right here. Got to get above the 10 EMA and the 20. You know how the drill goes. And I haven't updated Ethereum since I was sick. Hang on, let me actually go back to the daily on that one. Yeah, there it is. So it held that support right over there from, what was that, January of last year. So technically, I mean, it still has not made a lower low from the big time low over here, which was 83. Mona coin. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let me do something here. I'll just... Oh, it's Mona. Okay. Some people are calling ETH at 44. Okay. Well, let's just take a look. All right. Let's just zoom out. And let's just go all the... Well, that little wick right there, I hate it when they do that. Let's just zoom in way back here. Let's go all the way back to 2018. And where was some good support for Ethereum? Let's just draw it. So right here would be some good support. That's at 72. So I'll change that. Let's go and draw another one. How about back here? 42. So I don't know where the 44 number is coming from. But anything's possible, right? I mean, I guess they could have drawn, and I don't even know if that would have worked. They could have drawn some Fibonacci from way back here all the way to the very, very top. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll just draw the lines the way they are. Let's scroll back in and get to the current. There we go. So there's your support zones. Okay, and then Todd, I'm going to go, let me look at, let's see, Mona BTC. Okay, let's do that. And where did it go? Should have pulled up right in here. Let's see. That's weird. Mona BTC. Forgive me, guys. Dadgummit. Okay, so it backed me out of that stupid thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to log back in. Give me a couple of seconds here, guys. Whoa. There we go. Okay. Now let's try Mona Coin. There she is. All right. So what's going on with this one? What's the story? This one's not really tanking like everything else. It's making higher lows. And it's holding the 10, the 20, and the 50. This is odd. This is a pretty good find. Where'd you find this one at? Oh, why is that blurry? Let me refresh. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Just looking around. Really? Okay. Well, you got a big bearish engulfing here. Lower high hitting the upper Bollinger Band, but it's making higher lows. So I would say as long as it holds this little area right here where my cursor is, what is that, 17,228 or 17, something like that. If it can hold that and continue making higher lows, it might be all right. But just consider your risk in the market right now. I don't know that I would be buying a whole lot of unknown altcoins. I think I would stick to some of the ones that we've been looking at and watching. Link is one. XTZ is always one for a good bounce play. DGB is not going to do a whole lot. Still ticks me off, though, that it did this tweezer bottom over here and stopped me out. Should have put that a little bit lower, but that's what they like doing to me, I guess. And right at the bottom of this wedge, too. That's the other crappy thing. So, anyway, just ticks me off. All right, so anyway, what else can we look at? Let's actually go back and look at Litecoin for a minute. And see, this is something right here. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so Litecoin is one of those that, came down, hit the 1272 retracement or close to it, and bounced smartly off. So we'll see if it can hold that area, right? Get back inside the Bollinger Bands, let this thing the upper one come down. I mean, it's going to be choppy for a while. I mean, not saying it can't get back up in here, 46, on a day or something. You get some wild spike, but that's going to be resistance. And so is the top of that red stick. Fabio, I didn't get a chance to watch it just yet. I'm gonna go replay it and see. But I did hear. Here's the thing. I did hear this is that people said that today he sounded more quote unquote, presidential, and he had a lot of the CEOs like Walmart and stuff like that. So he was taking this more seriously now than what he was in the past. So, but you got to admit, and I heard this too, is that the market rallied, 7% in 25 minutes. And that was going on while he was making his speech. So, whereas the other day or the other night, when he made his national, deal on TV, markets tanked. So they didn't like what he said back then, but they liked what he said today. And I know a lot of people, I guess the thing that bothers me the most really is that there is such what's the word I want to use? There's just no bipartisanship going on in Washington. They're all trying to make the move of the decade. One party wants to be the better one, showing how they're gonna, get past all this. And I just think that's wrong. Let's just come together. Just come together and work as a group. I don't trying to put something in a bill that benefits some friend of yours or some company, whatever. I'm like, that's bullcrap. Just let's do something right for the people. There's a lot of people that are going to be losing lives and jobs over this thing, and now's not the time to squabble. Let's just get it done. And that's what the market wants to see. They want to see both sides cooperating with each other. Let's face it, they don't like indecision. BTC, I saw somebody post about this, and I think I actually retweeted it, and it's kind of funny. If you think about this virus and what it may make people think, is that there's a lot of people touching money, right? Paper money. And so if this thing was to, and I'm not saying it will, because I think this thing will probably, be over, fairly, I don't know, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, it'll be done deal. But it may make people think, that, wow, by touching that, or make them think something different. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm going to go to a digital currency. I don't ever want to touch paper money again. Who knows? That's just outside the box thinking. I don't know that I fully believe that just yet, but it's something worth keeping an eye on down the road. Nothing's going to happen overnight, guys, right? But there's always one place in time in history where people go back and look at something and they go, you know what, that changed the whole thing. So is this something that could change Bitcoin forever and make it be something more legit than what it is? Who knows? Time will tell. Hello, Abram. How you doing? Yeah, well, obviously people are going to there and just sticking around. They're just kind of waiting for things to settle down. It's just like there's a lot of cash on the sidelines in both Bitcoin and in the regular stock market. I don't think Warren Buffett was so stupid when he was a big percentage cash just, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6. And people were like, what's he, is he saving his money to buy some company? It almost makes you wonder if the guy knew about this thing the whole time. It really does. This guy just seems to know, and maybe it's a knack of his. He has so many smart people working for him. He just knows when to get in and out at the right time. But anyway, yeah, just going back and looking at, let's look at Bitcoin. Let's go back to it. So when one looks at this chart, we had the parabolic, we had the crash, and then you had the bottoming out. We had another move right here, big drawdown right here, and honestly, I really thought that was probably going to be it, and we would get a dip, hold the 200, 233, and then go up to 17,000. I was way wrong. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, guys. Not afraid. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. If I was 100% right, I can promise you I wouldn't be on this channel right now. I'd be on a beach somewhere having a nice cocktail. But it is what it is, and so we get this little move below this trend line, but held it, hit a fib extension and bounced. The question now is going to be, can we hold it? All right? And forgive me for all these lines on this chart. In fact, I think I get rid of a lot of these right now. I may have to go back and redo them all again at some point. Nope, I want to get rid of that. And let's get rid of that one. Clean things up a little bit. Yeah, I'll leave that one. All right, so there we go. And for giggles and grins, let me do this because I was not expecting this and didn't even think about putting this line in there. But I'm going to go and put this line right... let's call it right there. I think that's it. Let me see if I can get it lined up. Get that magnet going. There we go. All right. So we'll just put that in there and see what happens. Never know, right? So So if we fail that area, this is going to be a must hold. 3,100. And if that, and of course it could dip, knowing Bitcoin and all these guys, they could just actually do an overthrow of it. You saw that on Link, right? I talked about this. Where was it? Oops, Link. Let me get to Link. Yep, here we go. Right here, see these wicks? They went and they did this little thing right here and made a higher high, but then reversed hard off of that. That's your inkling right there. Nah, that's not right. They just screwed somebody right there. Got a lot of people thinking it's breakout, sucked them in, and then pulled the rug. So that's what you have to watch for sometimes on these. Just because you got a support right here doesn't mean it can't go a little bit below it, because they know everybody's looking at these numbers, right? They're usually going to get in most of the time a little bit above or just below those support lines. They're not stupid. Yeah, he did. I mean, you're right, CC. He's a smart guy. Very smart guy. Let's see. What else did I want to look at? Let's go look at the BTC shorts. Oh, yeah. There we go. Kind of interesting how, and look at this. Little cup. Little cup. Maybe a handle, and then maybe we get the final drop on Bitcoin. See if it holds 3,100. Or retests it. We'll see. Hitting some major resistance zones right here. Let's get rid of... we'll keep it there because it's in between these two red lines, right? So we shall see. This is just a little bottoming process, it looks like. So we may get one more final, like on the stock market, we may get one of those moves on Bitcoin where it's a final washout, and then they'll run things. So be vigilant, be careful. Okay, any questions? Chart requests? Any questions? XRP. Let's look at XRP. So it's going to be the same, right, as most of these other ones. It's just going to, let's just do this. I mean, and I thought this was rather interesting. There you go. Old support, new resistance, guys. It's probably one of the easiest things you can do. Whether you don't even have to use Fibonacci, you don't have to use trend lines. Some people, this is all they look at, right? Old support, new resistance. So if you've got a support zone right here, okay, right here, holds as support, goes up, but then breaks through it, then on the way up, and when it tries to go up, that's going to be resistance, and then look what happens. So that's all some people look at, probably some really old-fashioned people. But much the same thing as on Bitcoin, we talked about it. It was giving us clues that something was going on when it couldn't make another higher high, and you get this big bearish engulfing, 3 black crows. That's just continuation of a downtrend. And so when you get this move right here, be on guard, and then there it is. So it probably fulfilled its move. Doesn't mean it can't go lower, right? There's anything can go lower, but doesn't mean it can't bounce, right? So now what are we going to do? We know that this is going to be resistance right up here, right? Your next area to watch is going to be your 10 EMA. If this thing tries to rally, you can bet your bottom dollar that 10 EMA is going to be resistance. So the risk and reward here on XRP is, I could buy it right here. Okay, it's holding this lower Bollinger Band. It's trying to get back inside. Somewhere over the next couple of days, if that can hold, or even tonight, maybe risking a little bit here, and then playing a move up to, and by this 10 EMA is going to change price tomorrow, right? On a candle close, it's probably going to drop down lower. So you have to assume that. And so XRP, you could play it from 15 or almost 16 cents up to 18 cents. You get a couple of pennies out of it, depending on how much money you wanted to spend, right? So you can play that for a bounce. You could play the strategy and look at my trading plan, right? You just have to know that your risk on the downside, you have to watch that 11 cents. But if it can pull back a little bit, get you a better entry around 14 and a half, and then maybe ride it up a little bit, there you go. Matic. Yeah, I just mentioned that one, didn't I? Let me take a look. Well, hit this fib cluster right up here, and that stopped it in its tracks, and then it's just dumped since then. Oh boy. Like I said a long time ago, when you see something like this, pump, dump, sideways, you're going to get blips here and there. It just takes a while for this thing to play out. That's not good. Bearish engulfing. You would want to see tomorrow, to be honest with you, back above the 200-day moving average, and maybe get some sort of green stick up here to 232 or 240 by some miracle, and maybe even above it. That would be a counting on that. Your 10 has just crossed your 20. They're both pushing through the 50. And you're hovering around the 200-day moving average. I would give this one some time, in my opinion. I don't know that I would be in this one. I think there's too many other things to play. That's just me. One could have made the argument that low, higher low, high, higher low, higher high, but then it just took out that low. So you're starting over. You're welcome. My pleasure. If you got chart requests, any other ones, put them in the channel, guys. I got a little bit of time here. Okay, sorry about it, guys. CC, have a good one. Take care. All right, let's go over to what else can we look at? Boy, ETC, my gosh. Talk about a mover. Oh my gosh. Did we talk about this last night? I think I mentioned this one around, it was at 13, and it was at, last night when we looked at it, it was around 350. Today, it hit a high of 713. Holy cow, that's double. Absolute double. Wow. That's one I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on to trade. Not for a longer term deal, but a trade with my, again, using the strategy. But God, that's a mover. Wow. Unbelievable. That is just crazy to watch. Let's go look at EOS. Wow. Well, better do some updating on this one. So it broke through that. Broke through this 127.2. And even broke through the 1618. Holy cow. I don't even think a 261. Yeah, it won't even show up on the chart, so I'm going to have to get rid of that. I mean, it shows up at negative. So get rid of that. And much like Litecoin, it hit the 127.2 and it's trying to bounce off that. So, oof, wow. Wow. And let's see, the 161.8 at 12 cents. Holy cow. Oh, this is interesting. Scrolling back. And this is on EOS. Look at this. We talked about this just a little bit ago, didn't we? Look at this. EOS. Support 1272. So if people were looking at this support over here and using that as their stop, well, guess what? They got barely stopped out of it, and then it popped. So let's keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on EOS. That's interesting. All right, so that's EOS. Let's go to ZRX. And much the same, overthrow, popped back inside. Let's go ahead and just get rid of those. And let's see if this thing actually stopped anywhere. Let's see. Or anywhere close. Let's see, that to there. Okay, that was a fib cluster. Nope, gotta get rid of that. We do this. One, 2, 7, 2. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay. So ZRX, and I don't know where Ancient was trying to get in. Maybe it was like 10 cents. He must have done like the fib cluster thing, because right there is some massive support. 10 cents on ZRX. Could actually get there. But I don't think it's going to get there until it actually bounces first. So coming back through on ZRX, you're going to have that as resistance. Change that over to red. And let's do, oh wow, let's see. I've got eyeballs. Let me see if this is going to work. From here to here and there. Interesting. So it overthrew this big support area where that wave equaled close to this one. Still want to be cautious though. Interesting. Bearish engulfing, big red stick, inside day. Higher indicator. Interesting. Okay, just know that you got risk. If you're wanting to play ZRX, your risk is down to 10 cents. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's see. All right, anything else you guys want to look at? Tell you what, pull this up real quick and I'll show you guys something. TLT, I think that was it. Oops, nope. If it'll pull up. I can't get it to pull up. TLT is what I was trying to pull up. That's the 20-year note. But I gave the warning the other night to not try to go long this. Yeah, it's not going to pull up. All right, so I'm just going to get that out of there. Something's going on with Thinkorswim. They're probably updating some stuff. All right, guys, anything else you want to look at? Anything else? Give it about a 2-minute call and then I'm going to go eat some dinner. Anything else you guys want to look at? Last call. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Good luck out there. I'll be around in the channel here for, in the Discord channel for a while. So we'll see you guys on there here after a while. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks.